Hello. Welcome. It's YMTF again. I'm excited. I'm elated. I'm glad to see everybody here. Welcome to the administrators, the consultants, the students, and our other guests as well. Our theme this year is Power Up Your Responsibility. Once again, that's Power Up Your Responsibility. The Office of Career Services has been planning this event since September last year, and they've done a wonderful job. And also the YMTF committee has been planning this event. This program will be presented to you as printed on your program, and we will start with the welcome/occasion by Mr. Cordero Johnson.
Good evening. To all YMTF administrators, faculty, staff, consultants, and students, I am Cordero Johnson, a junior major in computer science from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I am honored to have this opportunity to welcome you all to the 39th Annual Youth Motivation Task Force Opening Banquet. The Office of Career Service would like to extend its greatest appreciation and thanks to everyone who helped make this a success. We really appreciate everyone for taking time out of your very busy schedules to be here for this grand occasion. Today, we are here to prepare for a very empowering and educational week. Power Up Your Responsibility is a very appropriate theme, and one that we feel will not only motivate students, but will serve as an inspiration to influence our students, faculty, and institution overall, so that we may always believe in each other and encourage each other to settle for nothing less than success in all that we do. Each year, we call upon corporate and educational leaders like you to help equip our students with the skills and knowledge necessary to succeed in today's global society. Because of you and your influence, we believe programs like YMTF are key to the success of our students. Again, we welcome you and we thank you for being here and believing in YMTF.
Could you please bow your heads and close your eyes for a word of prayer? Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us all here today for this joyous occasion. Lord, we would like to thank you for the food that we are about to receive. Bless the hands that prepared it. We ask that it's a nourishment to our bodies as you are to our soul. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
We're going to continue on with the program, but you guys can continue eating. I'm going to introduce Ms. Jacqueline Edwards, and here she is.
Good evening, everyone. I am Jacqueline Edwards, a junior here at the university majoring in agricultural business, and I'm from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Today I will be introducing our speaker, Ms. Brittany Brown. Brittany Brown is a native of Augusta, Arkansas, and a proud graduate of University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff and Iowa State University of Science and Technology. In 2007, Brittany received her Bachelor of Science degree in Regulatory Science with an emphasis in Industrial Health and Safety from UAPB. While matriculating at UAPB, she was active in many clubs and organizations, such as National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or as we know, the NAACP, Honors College, Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, or Related Sciences, and Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, just to name a few. Brittany's participation in numerous activities earned her several awards, including 2006-2007 UAPB Student Leader of the Year Award. Though Brittany was very involved in many extracurricular activities, she was also extremely dedicated to her studies. She came to UAPB as a recipient of the USDA 1890s National Scholars Program Scholarship. Brittany graduated UAPB summa cum laude with the cumulative grade point average of 4.0 in May 2007. For this great achievement, she received the Chancellor's Medallion and served as the Student Marshal for the UAPB Class of 2007 commencement ceremony, an honor given to the top graduate of the class. After completing her undergraduate studies at UAPB, Brittany received a graduate fellowship from Iowa State University of Science and Technology, where she received her Master of Science degree in Industrial and Agricultural Technology. During her academic career at ISU, she was involved in the Black Graduate Student Association, the Ames Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and Marist, where she served as the 2008-2009 ISU Marist President. After graduating from ISU, Brittany began her career with the USDA Food Safety and Inspection Service. There, she served as a program analyst for the Office of Program Evaluation, Enforcement, and Review. Since July 2010, Brittany has served as the interim lead for the USDA 1890 program. She feels honored, privileged, and extremely blessed to serve in this capacity. This program has offered her countless opportunities, both academically and professionally, and she is happy to give back to the program that has given so much to her. Currently, Brittany resides in Arlington, Virginia, where she volunteers in the tutorial ministry at Alfred Street Baptist Church. She is also still active in the Marist Club and Northern Virginia Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Without any further ado, I proudly present to you our speaker for this evening, Ms. Brittany Brown.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jamari Wells. I am a sophomore here at the university, majoring in animal science, and I will be your entertainment for this evening. I will bring you a selection called Peace of God by Tamerlane Ramsey. Oh, peace of God, rain on me. My spirit is calling to be free. My heart is heavy. I'm weighted down, for I know that your presence will always be around. Oh, peace of God, rain on me, for I know that your presence will always be around. Oh, for the peace of God surpasses all understanding. For the peace of God surpasses all understanding. Oh, peace of God, rain on me. My spirit is calling to be free. Oh, my heart is heavy. I'm way down, for I know that your presence will always be around. For the peace of God surpasses all understanding. For the peace of God surpasses all understanding. Oh, peace of God, rain on me. My spirit is calling to be free. Oh, my heart is heavy. I'm way down, for I know that your presence will always be around. For I know that your presence will always be around. Thank you.
end of education is to know God and the laws and purposes of his universe, and to reconcile one's life with these laws. The first aim of a good college is not to teach books, but the meaning and purpose of life. Hard study and the learning of books are only a means to this end. We develop power and courage and determination, and we go out to achieve trust, wisdom, and justice. If we do not come to this, the cost of schooling is wasted. John Brown Watson. To Chancellor Davis in his absence, to the faculty and staff of UAPB, to the Director of the Office of Career Services, Ms. Mary Jones, and her amazing staff, to the 30+ consultants who have so willingly given of your time to contribute to this great program, but most importantly to you, to our student liaisons, program participants, and ushers. Good evening. One more time, good evening. Before I begin, I would first like to acknowledge my family who has traveled here from the great city of Augusta, Arkansas to be here with me today. I would also like to thank Mr. Jimmy McAlpine and the YMTF Planning Committee for inviting me to this wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And last but certainly not least, I would like to thank Ms. Jacqueline Nicole Edwards for that wonderful introduction. Man, it sure does feel good to be home. My first speech at UAPB was on this stage, so it truly feels good to be back at my beloved alma mater, the flagship of the Delta, the no excuse university, the home of the marching musical machine of the Mid-South, the place where you'll be proud to be, the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. You know, I feel like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz because there is truly no place like home. It is one thing to come back and to celebrate homecoming, but it is a different kind of feeling when you can come back and address the university that is responsible for the very essence of who you are. UAPB was, is, and will continue to be a very influential part of my life, so as I stand before you today, I am honored, I am humbled, and I am privileged to be a part of the 39th Annual Youth Motivation Task Force. When I first found out that I would be the speaker for YMTF, I spent weeks trying to figure out the most eloquent and most meaningful way to speak to the theme, power up your responsibility. So I researched the scientific definition of power, and then I researched the etymology of the word responsibility. And then I went to the most reliable source of information that I know, also known as Google. And I read quote after quote after quote, but for some reason I could not quite find the spark or the inspiration that I was looking for. And then I realized I need not look toward Google or toward science for my inspiration. All I needed to do was take a look into the past of our university, the past of our country, essentially the past of our people. Now, I know that some of you are wondering, Brittany, why are you talking about the past? I mean, it's Black History Month and we've heard more than our share about the past. Well, as my pastor would say, let me give you the background so you can appreciate the breakdown. See, our history, Black history, UAPB history is filled with a plethora, with an overabundance of what we call power. How so? I'll tell you. From a small frame building on the corner of Sevier and Lindsay Street called Branch Normal College with 1 professor and 7 students to a 30+ building campus with 2 farms and a satellite campus called UAPB, that is called power. From a child born into slavery named Isabella Baumfree to become one of the first women to advocate for women's rights named Sojourner Truth, that is power. From an orphan born on the eastern shore of Maryland who taught himself how to read and gave away food to learn how to write, to becoming one of the greatest abolitionists of our time, Frederick Douglass, that is power. From 1862, when they told us we couldn't go to school, to 2012, where HBCUs and 1890 land-grant universities graduate 70%
of African Americans with bachelor's degrees. That is power. From the 1600s, when we were brought to this country in chains, to 2012, when I can watch my president, Barack Obama, a black man, deliver the State of the Union address, that is power. Now, I know that we're not in church, but if that ain't enough to make you get up and shout, and if that ain't enough to make you feel like you got a little fire just shut up in your bones, I might as well pack up my stuff and go home. But Miss McLaughlin told me that I have at least 15 minutes, no longer than 30 minutes, so I think I'll keep on going. Now, I know that you've heard these stories before. You've heard it from your parents, and you've heard it from your teachers, and you've heard it from your mentors, but I hope you realize by now that it is not merely the story that we want you to hear, but rather the message in the story. The message that we come from a rich history of people whose will to succeed was far greater than their fear of failure. A history of people who have been hard-pressed on every side but not crushed. Perplexed but not in despair, persecuted but not abandoned, struck down but not destroyed. The message that we come from a people who have succeeded in spite of the odds. See, when society put a door in front of them, they unlocked it, and when they put a wall around them, they tore it down. When they put a glass ceiling above them, they broke it. The message that we come from a people that have transcended obstacle after obstacle ever since we landed on American soil. And that's why we know not to grow weary in well-doing, for in due season we will reap if we faint not. The message that we come from a people who know that all things work together for the good for those that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. We come from a people who knew what it meant to have power. So can somebody say power up? I know you're probably thinking, she's given us enough history to last for the rest of the semester. And what does any of it have to do with power up your responsibility? I'm so glad you asked. This year's theme is not a question or a statement, but rather a charge for you to realize that the torch has now been passed to you, and a torch to know that it is now your responsibility to not only be dreamers, but to be doers, to not only show up, but to show out, to not only be a part of the crowd, but to be a leader of the crowd, to not only want change, but to be the change, to not shy away from challenges, but to conquer them. It is a charge to think the unthinkable, to accomplish the unfathomable, and to achieve the unachievable, a charge we embrace with the words of Frederick Douglass, who said, "What is possible for me is possible for you." And how do you make that possible for you? You make it possible by valuing your education, the one thing that no one can take from you. See, you will encounter obstacles where you may not be the right age or the right race, and people will marginalize your past. You might be from the Delta region of Arkansas in the wrong socioeconomic class, but your education, in all of that, it will stand. You make it possible by being like a turtle who can endure some hard bumps and bruises along the way, who plans his steps carefully and meticulously. You have to stick your neck out to get ahead, and you even know when to be still. You make it possible by being resilient and bouncing back from every struggle. You make it possible by taking the lead instead of taking a back seat. You make it possible by understanding the true meaning of the words, "To whom much is given, much is required." You make it possible by transforming yourself from a statistic to a success story. You make it possible by buying yourself a nice black suit with that refund check instead of buying a new pair of Jordans. You make it possible by knowing that every class you take, every test you pass, every degree you obtain, every obstacle that you conquer is not only a blessing and not only a privilege, it is your responsibility. So I charge you today to power up your responsibility. All of us have been fortunate enough to follow in the footsteps of many great men and women. We have stood on the shoulders of giants, but now it is our turn to be the giants. Though we have come a long way, in the words of Robert Frost, but we have promises to keep and miles to go before we sleep. and miles to go before we sleep. So as I prepare to take my seat, I leave you with the words of Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So power up your responsibility. Thank you.
I had the opportunity when Brittany was on her internship in DC to hear her make her presentation. She was excellent then, and she's excellent now. So I really, really, really enjoyed your message. Now I know you have many ways to keep up with the time, but this is for you to know that it's YMTF time. So this is something for you to put on your desk to remember us, because we will never forget you. And we also want you to know, and these are just tokens of our appreciation for that wonderful message that you gave. Thank you.
Thank you and good evening. Brittany, that was tremendous. I wish you had been at church with us today to do that. Boy, that was magnificent. Goose pimples and everything that you could imagine was running down my spine to know that UAPB produced people like this. I'm going to tell you who you remind me of. I think you're sitting at the table with her, but you did excellent, excellent job. Excellent. And it's time to recognize our sponsors. Where you want to start, Ms. Chair?
We start with Kellogg, that's fine.
Okay, we're going to start the platinum. And Kellogg is the first on the list, but you know, I want to give a special thanks to a young lady that's no longer with Kellogg. But if it was not for this young lady, we perhaps would not have Kellogg. Miss Dolores Bowers, just stand and this young lady has truly been an ambassador for our alma mater. Everywhere she's been, UAPB has been in the foresight. Everything she does, she never forgets about UAPB. And it's just so honored to have a young lady, an alumni that love his or her alma mater. Thank you, Dolores, for everything you do and everything I know that you will continue to do. Also platinum.
You gotta give Kellogg there.
Okay, Kellogg, I'm sorry, Kellogg. Will you please come forward? Who do we have with Kellogg, Ms. Cherry? What are the names? Mr.
Noel Hansberry.
Mr. Hansberry.
Alex Fortin.
Alex. And you know, you two gentlemen have some big, big shoes to fill. You know that? But
Got one more.
Who's the other person?
Yeah, Kenneth Floyd. I couldn't think of the name.
Kenneth Floyd.
Y'all come on, get on.
Thank you. I have a brother by the name of Kenneth Floyd.
Alex, get on TV.
You know, and the reason this is important, because believe it or not, Ms. Cherry and Ms. Jones, they do not get any funds to support this program, the Youth Motivation Task Force program. And it's not something that started with Ms. Cherry and Ms. Jones. It's something that started some 20 plus years ago. But they have taken it to a new level in terms of getting contribution and support from corporate America. And if it was not for you gentlemen and young ladies that love this program so much, we would not be able to do the things that we're able to do and to bring in the type of speakers that you're bringing in. YMTF is really bringing in some of the speakers that we do not have dollars to support. So we really take our hats off to you who support the Youth Motivation Task Force program, and to Ms. Jones and Ms. Cherry and Ms. McLaughlin and the entire staff. So thank you. You have it. Okay, they already have it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bigger things.
All right. Our gold sponsors.
No, you got another platinum.
Platinum? Where? Not on there. Oh, Krista's help. Ms. Bowers.
And she has Camille here.
And
Camille. Camille.
And Benny, thank you for sharing your wife with us. Thanks so much. Again, thank you for everything you do.
Appreciate
God bless you. All right. Thank you.
She hadn't given you.
Our gold sponsors, AT&T. We'll have all of them come up. AT&T.
Molly Sweat.
Ms. Sweat.
And she has several others.
The whole AT&T delegation, they didn't put any names with it, they just put the company.
Got several.
Got us out this year.
You know, Kevin, I tell you, Kevin, even though he's not a graduate of UAPB, in essence he is because he was still on this campus, but he's still, so you have a degree from UAPB. I think your mom and dad both worked here, went to school here, and Kevin has really chipped in and done everything. And we have a long history. I won't tell you, we have a long history. When Kevin was 9, he played Little League Baseball for me for a little while, but thank AT&T.
You have 2 graduates, Bobby and Madonna Minor.
Bobby.
Graduates of UAPB.
Bobby Sweat and Miss Martin.
Minor.
Brown.
LaDonia Brown.
Okay. Thank you. And they are UAPB graduates. And the other 2 young ladies on the end, Bobby, introduce those young ladies here.
All right, these are employees from Little Rock, and I worked very hard to get some Arkansas participants from AT&T. Kevin and I have always participated, but their department, mobility, has been very, very supportive. Their senior vice president was very supportive in sponsoring this year, and I thought we were only going to get 1. And when I talked to External Affairs and they said, no, Sharon is sending 3, I couldn't believe it. So this is
When you walk away.
LaDonna Minor. Okay. LaDonna Minor.
In front of the mic.
LaDonna Minor. Okay.
Sherry Turley.
Sherry Turley.
And Sherry Turley. Sherry Turley, out of Little Rock.
Okay. You don't have a representative from Eden, but you can recognize them.
Is this the one, Brian Thomas? Okay. We'd like to recognize Eden Corporation, and I looked for him in the audience earlier this afternoon from the Eden Corporation, Mr. Brian Thomas. He has really been a supporter of UAPB, and because of the work that Brian did, I think UAPB is one of the select schools that Eden has chose to feature doing some of their recruitment efforts. So let's give Brian a hand in his effort.
Jenny.
Skip that. Skip that. Our bronze sponsors, Monsanto. Please come forward, please. I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Wow, I get the mic.
Yes.
I'm Serena Gregory. I work for Monsanto. I'm a research scientist there. We have a great affiliation with UAPB. We've actually been here with our IT program. I see a couple of people at my table who are actually participants. So, hi Pearl. Hi Jasmine. So we're really affiliated with the school. We're really proud of this school. We have a great relationship, but we just continue to build on that relationship. And thank you so much for recognizing us.
Okay. Thank you. And I think it had to have been some 20 years ago, there was a gentleman by the name of Mr. Gene Krajak that worked with the Monsanto company, and he was a regular recruiter on this campus, and he worked so very diligently to try to make it possible for our students to have career opportunities with Monsanto. Thank you for continuing that. Verizon Wireless.
Lauren Snow.
Miss Lauren Snow. She one of my graduates. Tell you what, you're a very busy young lady. Verizon is all everywhere. Thank you for, wait just a second. Thank you for everything you do for UAPB and our students. And this is your first trip, and hopefully it won't be your last. So enjoy campus, and thank you for helping support the Youth Motivation Task Force program.
Thank you so much.
We need to recognize all of them coming to the awards for the first time.
Okay, and I think there are some others that possibly made contributions, and you received your awards the last time. However, will all of the delegation with the USDA please stand?
Tell them they're gold sponsor.
They are a gold sponsor. They received their award yesterday. Thank you, Jimmy. Jimmy probably has about 22, 23 years of participation, 21. And he was one of the gentlemen I was looking for when I arrived at 2 today. Also, Walmart Sam's Club. Will you please stand? They're also gold sponsors. And I'd just like to thank a young lady from Altimer, Arkansas. Is that Altimer? Or Cheryl? Altimer, Arkansas. This young lady has done a tremendous job. Felicia, please stand again, just to show our students what can be done. And wherever UAPB is, you will find her. I went to the SWAC tournament in Florida, looked up, Felicia Wiley was there. Everywhere UAPB is, she's there supporting her alma mater. Thanks. Is anybody? Tyson Foods.
There's nobody here.
Okay, well, a representative of Tyson Food visits your table today. Let's give Tyson a hand of applause for that chicken. Well, Walgreens, please stand.
Nobody's here.
Walgreens, okay. Well, let's give Walgreens a hand of applause for that. And all the consultants, they probably gonna recognize you, but you know what? I just want to thank you, because you really didn't have to do that. You could have stayed home and watched the NBA All-Star game, or you could have watched the Grammys, but you decided to come to Pine Bluff to help the students at UAPB. And we're so grateful that you took time from your busy schedule to do that. And we look forward to your continued support of UAPB and our students. Thank you.
We really do want to thank all of our sponsors. And in addition to Christus Health being a platinum sponsor, Mrs. Bowers has presented or brought to present to the students something they really need, exercise balls. And we are so grateful for every student participant. She has sent those balls and they are over in the corner, so as you get ready to leave, please, students, stop by to pick it up, okay? And we really appreciate that.
Can I have all the students stand for a second, please? All the students, wow. Let's give a round of applause. And can you guys turn and face Mrs. Bowers? Mrs. Bowers, can you stand up for me, sweetie? I'm sorry. One more time. There she is. On behalf of all UAPB students, we would like to thank you for the exercise balls, and we really do appreciate you and what you do for YMTF. Thank you so much. Students, you may sit. All right, and I'd like to bring up Miss Alyssa Freeman.
Hello, I am Elysia Freeman, a junior here at the university, majoring in business management. And on this evening, I have the pleasure of recognizing all our guests tonight. We are pleased to announce that we have 38 consultants with us, representing the private sector, government agencies, and educational institutions that will spend 2.5 days on the campus of UAPB during this week. Many of us got the pleasure of meeting all the consultants in orientation, but some of us did not. So starting to my left, one at a time, could all the consultants please stand and introduce yourself and tell what company you are with, representing this week.
Alan Shipman, Walmart. Stoney Ross, Permanent Army.
Barry Jackson, USGS.
Adrian Alexander, Chicago Public Schools. Dr. Ruth Jones, NASA, Glenn Research Center.
Ernest Ingram, Arkansas Department of Community Correction. Ricky Peer, the U.S. Army.
Javon Williams, USDA Agricultural Research Service.
Tracy Troutman with the USDA Agricultural Research Service.
Excel Lafayette, Walmart.
Sherry Turley, AT&T Mobility.
LaDonna Miner, AT&T Mobility.
Dolores Bowers, Christus Health.
Wanda Ashley, Arkansas State Highway and Transportation Department.
Alex Forden, Kellogg's.
Cynthia Bennett, URS Corporation, Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Camille Hodges, Christus Health.
Lee Allen, Diversified Business Network.
Byron Hamilton, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
Noah Hornsberry, Kellogg's.
Felicia Collins Wiley, Sam's Club.
Veronica Sabachet Wiley, a contractor with NASA.
Ron Lance with Walmart.
Serena Gregory, Monsanto.
Benny Bowers, retired commander with Michigan State Police. Kevin Blakely, AT&T.
Brittany Brown, USDA 1890 program.
Donald Williams, Murphy Oil.
Felisa Kennedy, FL Kennedy Group.
Donya Brown, AT&T Mobility.
Ronnie Rice, Kansas State University.
Jimmy McAlpine, USDA Agricultural Research Service.
Danny Massey, Social Security Administration.
Kenny Floyd, Kellogg.
Lauren Snow, Verizon Wireless.
All right, let's give all of our consultants a round of applause, please. Thank you. Once again, could all the students please stand? Thank you all. You may be seated. Will all faculty and staff please stand? Thank you all. And if there are any other special guests we have here with us today, could you all please stand? Thank you so much. The Office of Career Services would like to say that we truly appreciate all of you for your attendance on this evening, and we look forward to your participation and involvement in the rest of our YMTF activities. Thank you all so much and enjoy your week.
For YMTF, and I see an 870 number. I said, should I answer that call? And I'm on a conference call, and I see it come across my phone, and then my cell phone rings. And I said, So when I answered the call, it was Miss McLaughlin. And I said, oh, it's Miss McLaughlin. I'll call her back. If it had been Miss Cherry, I would have said, what did I do wrong? But I do want to. I'm here to give the student liaison and the consultant charge. And, you know, Brittany, my loving sorrow, who can come after her? I mean, you have done it for all of them. You have inspired them. I don't have to say a word tonight because you gave the message. And I want to thank you for that. You know, when I think about giving this charge, I think about two things. Commitment, right? And I think about teamwork, right? We have 10 teams in the room. And I know that team number 8 is the best team, but we're not going to go there this time. We're going to do that tomorrow. But when I think about commitment and I think about teamwork, it takes all of us to make YMTF happen. And I know the students today are making a sacrifice because I know when you leave here, you got to go back and figure out all the work that you might miss this week, right? And I know every student in here is going to catch up. They're going to do what they have to do to keep on doing what they're doing, right? And I know all the consultants in here are thinking just like me. Man, I leave on Sunday to go to San Antonio to do a presentation in front of 75 people. I come back and I leave again to do X, Y, and Z. And all the emails that I have to answer tonight, 5 o'clock in the morning, because I'm gonna get up, I might exercise, but 5 o'clock I'm gonna answer all my emails, just like every consultant in this room have to do. So I want to thank you for your commitment, and I want to thank you for being here now, because we have to be present, we have to be in the moment to make YMTF work. To the students again, rub your shoulders against all the folks in this room, because there's a lot of shoulders to rub. For the consultants, there's a lot of Britneys that you're going to be in front of every day. And they're looking for that little nugget that it takes to get them to the next level. So I want to thank you for your tired feet that you're going to have. I want to thank you for answering all your emails tonight and getting all the work you have to get done, because I want you to come back next year. When it takes a group, an individual to be committed, because that's why YMTF works. When you have commitment, you have teamwork. When you have commitment, you have a society that's able to function. And when you have commitment, you have a YMTF that produces the many students that are going to be successful moving forward. So I want to thank you for the commitment you're making today, the commitment you're going to make at 7 o'clock a.m. in the morning and 6 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, for the sister to sister at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, the brother to brother for 2 o'clock, and all the things that you have to do to make YMTF the best that it always is, every year for 39 years. So thank you.
Closing remarks. I'd like to thank Thompson Hospitality for that outstanding meal that we all enjoyed tonight. Our speaker, Ms. Brown, for an outstanding speech. Jamari, for that awesome solo that you gave to us tonight. Inspiration, thank you. You have received everything that you need to be powered up, so let's do it.